Hello everyone, this is Zeeebo and welcome to today's NeuroCloud video. So just in a few hours time, the new unit Kuro, which is an internet streamer, will be released into the game of NeuroCloud itself. And in today's video, I'll try my best to actually analyze this unit from the various perspectives, as well as get a reference from the CN server to better talk about the future proofing for this unit. And without further ado, let us start off today's video. So this will be the table of content for today's video. First of all, I'll talk about Kuro's general overview, the skill animation, as well as the different damage numbers, stats, and basically percentages stuff, to have a general overview of how this unit works as well as how strong she will be. Then we will talk about some algorithm recommendations based on some of the CN server information. And then lastly, we will talk about the future proofing for this unit by looking at the latest CN tier list updates to talk about whether or not this unit will last at least 5 to 6 months down the road. And without further ado, let us officially start the video. Starting off, we will look at the base stats of the unit. So all this information is on the B wiki for NeuroCloud CN server, and I'll just look at the numbers and translate it for you guys. So first of all, if we look at the HP stat, is base 1216 with 68 attack, 93 attack speed, 89 hash rate, 0.2% crit chance, crit hit damage of 50%, physical penetration of 37, your operant penetration of 50, right? Physical defense 21, operant defense 20, as well as a dodge chance of 0.2%, and also a post battle recovery of 163. And her growth rate is a B tier for attack, A tier for her hash rate, and C tier for the remaining categories. So based on just looking at her stats distribution, we can clearly tell that she's a mage type sniper that deals magical damage, because her main distribution or her offensive growth is on the hash rates, which is like intelligence mechanics for NeuroCloud itself. And as we move on to look at the skills, we will clearly see that trait. Now, her normal attack is known as gun key synchronization, which attacks with this thing known as Danmaku. I think it's a streaming thing in Japanese term. And she has a small chance of creating additional Danmaku to do a small amount of operant damage, so mage damage in general. So the secondary skill is known as the viewer discretion advice, which is also the auto skill. It continuously deals operant damage in the form of magical bullets, and if you allow it to channel fully uninterrupted, you'll be able to do large amounts of operant damage. Lastly, the ultimate skill, Traumatic Outthrow, allows her to throw a grenade towards the selected target, dealing a AoE damage and creating a minefield which continuously deal damage to the enemies within it. So moving towards the scaling of the three skills itself, so over here there's three different description. The first one is the normal attack, the second one is the auto skill, and the last one is the ultimate skill. So starting off with the normal attack has a 60% chance to deal an additional Danmaku, and each individual normal attack will be able to shoot out an additional of 5 Danmakus. And this Danmaku is a normal attack that deals damage that cannot be crit or dodged by the enemy with a 50% hash rate calculation. So that's for the normal attack. And if we look at the level up scaling, the leveling of the skill increases the damage calculation for the hash rate for the Danmaku skill itself. So at maximum level 10, you get 100% calculation for your hash rate for the normal attack. So scaling wise, 50, 54, 58, 66. So the scaling of the numbers is not I'll say like a universal one, but if you manage to actually level up the first skill all the way to max level, you are effectively doubling the damage from the Danmakus itself. And looking at the auto skill itself, whenever you use this skill, every 0.2 seconds you're able to deal a 40% hash rate calculation damage to the enemy, which lasts for 3 seconds. So if you go uninterrupted, you will get a 15 tick damage, so 15 times 40%. And if the skill is fully unleashed, you'll be able to do an additional of 160% hash rate calculation to the enemy. So it's a magical burst with a 8. If you 5-star it, it's an 8-second time, right? If you it will start off as 12-second cooldown. So do take note of that. And if you look at the scaling itself, the scaling increases the overall damage calculation for both the base bullets as well as the additional bullets after calculation. So it starts off at 40%, 160, and at level 10 is 80% and 320. So effectively doubling the damage output as well. So I'm not going to run through all the numbers itself, but if you just briefly look at the scaling, it's quite uneven. So this unit is you kind of have to max it out kind of unit in terms of the skill. I'll leave all the information description in my description, right? All the links. So if you guys can read Chinese, you guys can read it up yourself. And lastly, for the ultimate skills itself, right? She's able to deal, she's able to throw a grenade, which deals a 7-box AoE minefield that deals 100% hash rate calculation damage. Right, so it's a 5-second. Oh no, wait. The AoE damage deals 100% hash rate calculation and leaves a 5-second minefield. And this minefield, right? Every single time your enemy gets damage by your team, right, it will do an additional 30% of Kuro's hash rate damage to the enemy. So basically additional damage. And scaling wise, let's take a look. 25% increase and maxes out at level 5, 200% with a 66% calculation for Kuro's hash rate. So in short, I think you can tell that she's a mage type of character. Her role is probably that more of a single target unit with a little bit of team utility in her ultimate skill. So her normal attack as well as a secondary skill is more single target based. So single target mage damage dealer, and her ultimate skill is like a AoE damage with a minefield kit that allows your team to do additional damage of Kuro's hash rate. So that is something with her kit itself. Moving towards the algorithm section, clearly as most offense unit go, they run the 3-set MLR matrix. So this is a very common offensive set for most attacker. You quickly burst down your enemies, steal their attack, hash rate, and max HP, and then continue the cycle, just dealing more damage. So that's how she works as well. And for the stability option, she has 2 slots. So you probably want all the stability which increases her base stats, perception for base HP, rationality for base defense, and connection for debuff resistance. So you can try the 2-piece set for the other stability ones, but the number boost to her is not very big because overall defensive stat is not that good. So you want maximize boost in terms of the numbers. So in defense and HP, you have 15% for perception and rationality, and if you don't want to boost in stats, you want some debuff resistance so that you don't get disrupted or you don't get debuffed, then you can go for the connection set. And lastly, for the special option, you're looking at 2 Delta V with a 4% skill haste combination in the 2 other slots below. So that's how people recommend building up her algorithm. Overall, I can see that she's basically you want to kind of spam her skill as much as possible and then unleash a massive single target damage to bring down enemies as fast as possible. Her role will be pretty much like Hubble, but Hubble will be more towards the AoE side, where Kuro will be more towards the single target side. So depending on what type of unit you need for specific game modes, if you need somebody that deals with a single target boss very well, that nukes down target really quickly, I personally think that Kuro is really good. If not, Hubble is a decent option for you to max out first before even trying to work on Kuro, because they have very similar roles. It's just one is more AoE based and one is more single target based. So in most cases, I think the AoE based Hubble will be a little bit better, but Kuro's single target damage potential is pretty insane based on just the numbers itself. Lastly, let us look at the tier list from the latest CN server rating. So this one is of the 30th November 2022. And looking at the ratings itself, right, Kuro is T0.5, which is behind 2 of the other newer units. One is True Clear, which is a top tier unit that a lot of people should know by now, and the other one I'm not too sure about her name in terms of EN side yet, so I'm not going to talk about it. But in terms of the description, she's still an excellent single target burst unit, and she's one of the strongest burst type unit because of her secondary skill itself based on the description. And yeah, overall she's definitely a good investment in the long run, like looking at the future of the CN side. And if you are somebody that likes a single target nukes, you like the streamer personality, you like her animation, then she's definitely a good investment. However, do take note that Chukley, another top tier sniper unit, is gonna be released in a bit. So depending on whether or not you need multiple snipers, because I believe a lot of people who have Hubble in their team, you probably might skip Kuro as well. So depending on what you need, depending on how much resources you can master, I guess she's a okay investment. Not one of the best, but an okay one. So that's my conclusion for the Kuro in-depth hero review guide. And thank you very much for watching. Do let me know down in the comment section below what else can be improved for this hero review series for NeuroCloud. And hopefully I can make it better moving forward. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe in order to see more videos from this channel. And I will see you guys again in my next video. Bye guys!